All right, chat. Good morning. Beautiful morning to you guys. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. We ended up taking some longs today. Ended up literally just freaking going crazy through this. But I hope you guys had a good weekend. Enjoyed yesterday's day off. No trading because it was a bank holiday. And today we just came in, literally just staying true to my rules. Literally staying true to my strategy. Staying true with patience. Because lately I've been realizing I haven't been having that much patience, and I can feel it like inside of me when I see the candlesticks move. So I'm training myself to just literally look at the candlesticks and just be like, okay, don't click anything. Whatever happens, just let it happen. And when I see an execution or like one of my edges that I like, I just execute, and it ends up paying off. But I just know that I have to like stay calm because I can literally feel it like inside of me, just be like, yo, click the button, click the button. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I cannot do that. But I just waited, and I've been seeing myself just wait recently. Been back testing, finding some pretty good edges that I like that I plan to use during live market, and I just used one today, and it's obvious as you can see I won the trade. But let's go into the recap. Let's see why I was long today, and how if anyone was watching this was probably long as well. If you had the same trading style. Coming into today, this was a bit of a mixed bias. I'm not gonna lie. I was very mixed. However, my main plan was actually long, believe it or not. Coming into today, we literally had multiple gaps that were unfilled, right? On top of that, we come in from Asia session. Well, Asia session is this low, but the most recent low from Asian session, and then obviously we're not counting 10 a.m. open for the most recent high. We did not hit equilibrium, so we were overextended. We have multiple gaps. I was honestly bearish on the hourly. My goal was like, okay, if we could potentially literally just what you call it, if we could inverse this gap and then trade through these gaps, because if we inverse one gap and we already broke out of the structure, it's pretty strong to tell us, okay, we're gonna want to continue lower and inverse the rest of these gaps, and then from there we'll catch shorts to these lows, to Asian session lows, because there was no London session lows, to be honest. It was just the gaps. And my other main whoa, what's that word called? Not priority. My other contingency was, okay, if whatchamacallit, if London session high was taken, I mean not London session high, if we come in and fill these gaps and then somehow we create an SMT, foreshadow by the way, create an SMT and then we reject off these gaps and then we end up closing inside the main gap, and then from there we continue up higher. That means we're pretty clear for longs because the SMT is already the quote unquote real protected lows. We already rejected off these bullish imbalances, so there's no reason for us to go down. And then from there we'll probably want to target all the other liquidity that I had, all my other draws and liquidity that I had for the day. So let's really get back on into it. So that was my bias for the day. If you look at the 4 hour, we were bearish. I meant bullish, obviously. We honestly came into this order block, to be honest, on the 4 hour and just rejected off of it. On the hourly, came into these gaps and then rejected off of it. So I was honestly on the 5 minute. I know recently I said on the 15 minute that first presented fair value gap that you can see really tells your bias. We didn't have no fair value gap here, so I was just on the 5 minute all this time. Ended up happening, we ended up coming down, breaking 5 minute structure during pre-market. Ended up coming down, filling in all these gaps. Ended up creating a 5 minute SMT ski, and from there, I was like, okay, my main contingency can probably come to plan with that. What did we do? We ended up creating that SMT. We ended up coming into this gap, and then honestly, I'm starting to trade I'm starting to trade when we have SMTs. I'm starting to trade the index that doesn't want the liquidity because that means it's usually more volume, as you can see right here. ES, the lagging indicator, it just hit my first drawn liquidity. If I took the trade on ES, and then we still have these two, rather than Nasdaq, we had more volume and we just really just pushed through all of them. Um, and yeah, so coming into after we made this 5 minute SMT, we ended up inversing this gap. This was my 5 minute PD array, especially with the protected lows, and I was like, okay, boom, we have our 5 minute PD array, we have our SMT. Let's get down and dirty. Let's get some 1 minute action going on. Coming into market, let's turn on executions, prove I'm not lying. Boom. Oh, we entered here. Oh, hello, hold on. Sorry, chat. Okay. Coming into market, I literally just waited for an entry. We ended up having this order block. with a clean displacement. But however, I didn't enter off the order block. I entered off this little fair value gap right here. We ended up having a clean displacement, filling it all the way through. To me, I thought that was beautiful, especially with clean displacements. You guys know how much I love clean displacements. If you guys have been watching my recaps, clean displacement with an order block, as you can see, we end up not returning to it after we fill it all, and then clean displacements with a fair value gap or inverse fair value gap is pretty much what I love to see. I don't really like to see little displacements. I like to see a clean, straight up displacement. That is exactly what we had, and after that, I entered on the second candle, and then from there, stops. Literally, original stops were on equilibrium, because this would have been the protected low, and I don't think price would have want to came down here to fill in anything. Like equilibrium of this whole range, I don't think we want that, to be honest. I just think we just filled in the one PD array, and then we also had this order block. This is what the main concern was. This was my main take profit, not take profit. This was my main stop loss, and then honestly, after we got quite above this, we were consolidating a little bit because of news. We ended up having consumer confidence, which ended up coming off as bullish, as you guys can see right here, 10 a.m. open. But before 10 a.m. open, we ended up consolidating a little bit. We were stuck in drawdown, but I was pretty confident that this trade was going to want to play out because during news you're going to be choppy a little bit. But I was willing to take that because I was like, okay, this is probably going to be the only good entry that presents itself for my draw on liquidity, and literally, excuse me, this was the only good entry that presented itself besides the order block. These were the only two entries that I could see that ended up presenting itself with my the way that I trade. So I ended up taking it, and if I lost, I was gonna de-risk on ES because I only went in with one con on Nasdaq. But point is, this was my original stop loss, and then after we got up to this low, I ended up moving my stops right here, not right here, but right here underneath this low. And then yeah, ended up, and as soon as we ended up taking out this first drawn liquidity, which was honestly pre-market highs, I ended up moving my stops to break even because it was a clean displacement, and I was pretty much just riding the wave through until we ended up taking London session highs. As soon as we took out London session highs, I moved my stop right here just in case we were gonna want to have a reversal, and then after that we ended up coming in for Asian session highs, and that was like my main drawn liquidity, Asian session highs, because the way these highs just look, it just looks so like sexy, and yeah, that's pretty much the trade. Beautiful start to the week. Good ending to May. May has been really, really been well. May has been just good to me overall, and yeah, I'm glad to see that you guys have been seeing my journey so far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like, subscribe if you do. My fault. But I need a freaking shave, bro. I look so bad right now. But hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm gonna upload a couple TikToks if you guys want to follow the TikTok. Each on trades, you guys already know the deal. Other than that, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. If I end up taking a trade, let's look at the news for this week. To be honest, tomorrow, FOMC meeting minutes. I'm probably not gonna trade tomorrow. Thursday, unemployment claims. I'll definitely trade, and then Friday, consumer sentiment. So we're pretty stacked, man. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out. Peace out.